any type of genre, really, romance, fantasy, like actual life stories, true stories, not life stories, true stories, stuff like that. Whatever you watched influenced you to who you are to be today. Hello everybody, welcome back to yet another video from MattyDTube, and thank you for tuning in. Today what I'll be talking about, I have touched on this topic slightly before on influencing people, little children, influencing people and kids and teenagers and people of all different ages really. But I talked on other people influencing other people. This is still the same premise and concepts, but instead of physically being there and being tangible in front of you, this time the box is tangible. Say hello and welcome technology to influence. Obviously you will be watching this video from either a mobile phone, a laptop, something like that, maybe even a TV or something, because that's possible these days. And yeah, so really that's what this video is basically going to be about. And welcome for the quick recap. If you enjoy the premise and the concept of this video, please stick around to the end. I will have a great conclusion for you lot, and hopefully you like, subscribe, comment and share. I'll really appreciate that. It will really be helping a brother out. Now let's get into this thing. Okay, so as you grow up, or while you're growing up, you would have had two influences. First, the people you're mostly around, parents. And second of all, if you were able to have this in your household, a TV. Now, what you watched pretty much influenced you, whether it be you watched some, I don't know, Marvel, anime, any type of genre really, romance, fantasy, like actual life stories, true stories, not life stories, true stories, stuff like that. Whatever you watched influenced you to who you are to be today. Now, let's start off with the starter. When you start off as obviously a toddler, or pretty much a baby, you might remember or not remember these shows, but these were useful and helpful, to be honest with you. This was like pre-school. You could literally learn how to become a medical doctor from Doc McStuffins, I believe. And from Doc McStuffins, I believe. And stuff like this, they teach and help little children to aspire to be great things. I don't think there's a little kid show of a garbage man. There's a kid show about a postman, people going under water, marine biologists, stuff like that. What else? There are many shows, mechanic, and many others. You can even learn how to speak a completely different language, sort of, from Dora the Explorer. And this stuff teaches you, and you start off with this, and it's a little bit like music. Back then, you watched and listened to things that had meaning and that could help you achieve in life. Things that you could revisit, probably even learn something to this day. Then we move to our second point. You're getting a little bit older. Let's say we're following this child, and that sounds way more odd when I put it like that. Let's say okay, so let's say this supposed child has just finished its starter years of its influenced shows, and now has the mindset of wanting to do big things and be creative at home and be able to achieve things at home, whether it be try to make or build something, or find a Paul's heart rate or something like that. and try to achieve to become a doctor or something. Now we move on to 2, as I stated before. You're getting a little bit older. This person's getting a little bit older, but they're still learning things. They're still being influenced by other people, not exactly of what to do. If you've really noticed, the shows that are up are the ones that are decently paid, to be honest. And if you push this into a child's face from the beginning, then they aspire, oh, this looks nice, I want to be this when I'm older. And then we will have more doctors, more mechanics, and so on and so forth. It's actually really smart, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, I've got many little kids to want to be stuff like a doctor, mechanic, even translator. Even that's a decently paying job. Oh. Now, I haven't even touched on the second point, have I? No. The older you get, the more, how shall I put this? The shows have less meaning. Now you've pretty much learned the basics in a sense. You've learned numbers, alphabets, TVCs such as that, kids shows such as that. Child shows, kids for children, now have more of a, how shall I put it, 10 commandments out of a premise. Let me elaborate, because I did go a little bit religious and stuff. Now, it's basically saying, oh, this is wrong, this is right, this is the good guys, bad guys, and just what's wrong and what's right. You've learned the basics of life. You've learned numbers, alphabets, and some languages, what you want to aspire to be. Now, when you're a little bit older and your mind can process things a little bit better, you know not to steal, not to lie, all sorts of stuff like that. And these are the types of shows that, if I were to compare the two, I'll have to say that, I mean, okay, let me balance this out so I can give a clear scale of what's in my mind right now before you just see this 13-year-old child look like this for like 5 minutes trying to compare the two. Let me just say it out loud. For the starter, for like little toddlers, you learn the basis and premise and what you want to aspire to be, basically influencing you for what you think that you should be when in the future and what you've chosen. But then the second one teaches you moral and what's right and what's wrong. And not really philosophy, that's way too advanced for a child, but it teaches you what's right and what's wrong. Now, basic knowledge is good, obviously, and you should start from an early age. But moral and knowing what's right and what's wrong is also great too. Obviously, so that you don't have your little child stealing packets of sweets from Asda the next time you go, and yeah. So I'll have to say, children's shows that teaches you what's right and what's wrong, friendship, all sorts of stuff like that, is better, I have to say, than learning a language from Dora the Explorer who can't find her backpack. Oh my days. Anyways, 3. Now we've went from toddler to child, went through our child years, so some phases in between, and then we get to teenage years. Now, okay, this can go horribly wrong. Alright, let me elaborate. Now that you're at this age, you have experience. Now, you don't have to watch TV to teach you what's right and what's wrong, because obviously school and your parents have taught you, and these shows from when you're younger, you probably remember them. But your life experiences would have taught you just as well as watching Dora the Explorer on TV. And now, or even, your life experiences would have taught you, and it's a movie in itself. You're watching what's happening and you're learning. So, the difference between life and a TV is that life is more like a utopia. Did I just say life is a utopia? Scratch that. TV series are more of a utopia than life, because many things can happen there. You don't see Diego dying in Dora the Explorer. Imagine just one day Diego just died from starvation, because I don't think, as far as I can remember, I've never seen him eat. Same as Dora the Explorer. So imagine one day they just die and fall in episode 40 or 3 of starvation. Yeah, no, it's like nobody dies in cartoons because it's for kids, but it's how it is in the real world. I'm getting off topic, aren't I? So let's get back on track and yeah, let's continue. Since you already witnessing life experiences, that's pretty much basically your TV for the majority of the time from now on. And that is where you get into small phases. Now, this would be the 4th point. That was a quick 3rd point, just to, teenage years. I don't want to. There's many things you can watch when you're a teenager. For example, Marvel, Star Wars, Disney movies. Yeah, chillax. Sheesh. Yeah, 4th point. I left off the 3rd point with a phase. You can always have these phases throughout the years. Throughout your teenage years. Now, this can be so until you find the exceptional one that you think that you'll go on to watch forever, and it's a type of thing that is not a phase, and it's something that you genuinely enjoy for the majority of your life, especially when you start from young. Now, some of them can be phases like, I don't know, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Those are phases. And maybe even Lego, I'll say. And yeah, we're not going to talk about this. And many things can be phases. But there's that one thing that you'll eventually cling and stick to, that will stick with you for the majority of your life, and you'll appreciate it, I'll say. Not only appreciate it, but it will influence you since you've watched it the most. I haven't really talked about influencing, have I? So let me sum up points 1 to 4, and then I'll get to a conclusion. Point 1 teaches you the basics of what you should know, what you should aspire to be when you're older, and just the basic numbers, letters, the different language, all good stuff, And second one is a little bit older, but you know moral and what's right and what's wrong, friendship, all that stuff. And then 3, teenage, you can go through some phases, and I haven't even talked about influence during the summer. You can get influenced with the first one, basically because it's telling you what you should want to be in the future, giving you a choice, yes, which is reasonable, but still telling you that these are the great options that you should choose. And then the second one, it's influencing you of what to think, what's right and what's wrong. And even though it tells you this, even out in life, you can have your own ideology of what's right and what's wrong. So just to put you on the right path, they're telling you, okay, now this is right and this is wrong. And friendship always wins, because we have to make it more for kids, but still teach them how to be a functioning member of society, And point 3, how I sum that up, is now that you've pretty much learned everything, not everything, not yet, let me take that again. Now that you've pretty much learned the basics, a fair amount of what's right and what's wrong, disregarding probably half of them, and then how does that influence you? Life in general, because teenage years is basically, TV is meh nowadays, and the rest are just short phases that you just take for enjoyment. And life from then on influences you, or what you see in life influences you. So yeah, that brings me to the conclusion, not the summary, the conclusion. Yeah, I'm bringing summaries into these videos. Ooh. Okay, in conclusion, it's great to revisit old TV series and old shows that you watched as a kid, because you can always learn something from those. You can always be educated and remember things that you watched as a kid. It can help you to an extent. Now, what else? Yeah, you can just revisit these, and we watched them. So this was more on I probably might post this same video on Matt's adventure, since it's got to do with movies. But without the way, this video has come to an end, a conclusion, and I'll probably be making either a playlist or a full-length video of every every video that I've done that's got to do with the premises of influence. And I'll see you in the next video coming sometime this week. Peace.
I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Day we hustle, but the night we
Know that they ride or die.